Lie on your mat with a blanket. Have your bolster or large pillows, a couple of small cushions, and an extra blanket to cover yourself with. And because it's so chilly and snowy today, we're going to have a practice that keeps us warm. So it's a winter practice. And in Yin, the meridians that we work with when we work with the season of winter is the kidney and the bladder meridians. And they kind of run the full length of the body. So down the front of the body is the kidney, down the back of the body is the bladder. So the kidney pretty much runs on the kind of inside of the leg, and the bladder runs along the back of the leg. And then you've got running down the center of the front, and then running down the back, just along your spine, slightly to the sides of your spine as well. Let's come into our comfortable seat. For our mudra today, let's fold in the ring finger, which is connected to the element of water, and place the thumb on the ring finger, little finger, sorry, did I say ring finger? I meant little finger. Obviously my brain is feeling a bit cold. The circulation is not so great today. So little finger folded in, thumb to the knuckle of the little finger. There we go. And your palms can be face up or face down. I'm going to have them face down because it feels a little bit warmer for me. And this mudra, this energy gesture is called Jaludar Nashak. Jaludar Nashak. And it reduces the water in the body. Reduces, so it's with rain, with snow. The water levels are quite high. And so as the water gets cold and freezes, then obviously that makes us feel much chillier. So we're going to reduce some of that chill factor, chill factor with the water. Closing your eyes. Begin to trace the full breath as you inhale and exhale. Follow the breath through the nose and then down the length of your spine. As you inhale, draw the breath along the front of the body, up towards the nose. So inhaling, going down the back of the body, exhaling the front of the body, so that you create this circular movement of the breath, traveling the back of the body, the front of the body. It matters not if you get mixed up which way you're inhaling or exhaling, as long as you have the breath traveling down the front and the back of the body. Just visualize it in your mind's eye. And set your intention for your practice. The intention for your practice is to encourage this slow, reflective, warming breath. Just taking away the chill of winter, reducing that chill in the air. Allow it to flow. So if you visualize this breath flowing down the spine, and perhaps also along the parallel either side of the spine as well, so this central channel along the back, and then this central channel along the front. You're focusing on those main channels of the kidney and the bladder, the urinary bladder, that are located in the upper body. And in a moment, we'll take our awareness to the lower body, because that is also the channels are running along the legs, up and down the legs. With your palms face down, thumb on little finger knuckle, Jaludar Nashak Mudra. This water reducing mudra. Just taking away the chill of this winter's day, evening. And perhaps you feel cold at other times of the year. So this practice is not exclusively just for the heart of winter. This practice is during the year when you feel chilly or cold, or when you feel anxious. This helps us to slow down, to tune in, to connect with the vibrations of the cells within the inner body. Helps us to drop down deeply within, almost like we're going into a cave. So in the winter months, as you go into a cave or an igloo to withdraw and stay warm and cozy, this is the energy that we're connecting to with this yin practice. And if you can hear yawning, that's in the background. Begin to let go of this breath and bring your hands together in front of your heart. Rub your palms. Rub the palms together to create some warmth between the hands. And then let's place the palm over the eyes. And as you open the eyes, look into the depth of this darkness. Allow the warmth of your palms to be absorbed by your eyes. Remember, the eyes are a place that holds a lot of water. Warming up like a hot water bottle. Slide your hands down your face, palms together at the heart. Let's open by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale fully. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Release your hands. Let's move a block away if we're sitting on a block. So let's just take our awareness to our lower legs now. So the kidney runs down the inside of the leg here, all the way down to the ankle, down to the center of the foot. The bladder runs from the little toe all the way along the back of the leg and then up the spine here. So we've got the kidney running down the inside to the center of the foot, the bladder running from the little toe along the back of the leg. So let's start. And rather than tapping today, because we're a bit chilly, I'm going to invite you to rub the insides of your thighs all the way, and you can come into butterfly, because this is quite a good way of doing this. And briskly rubbing the inside of your legs, and then taking your thumb and rubbing the center of the sole of your foot. So let's go along the inside of the legs again. Let's just start warming up the lower body now. So let's go to the outer legs now. So then you probably want to have your knees bent. Let's rub the back of the thighs, in back of the knees. back of the calves, all the way down to your Achilles tendon, and then side of your foot, the little toe. And then let's go back in reverse, back of the ankle, back of the calves, back of the knees, back of the thighs. And you can do circular motions or up and down. And then I'm just going to go back along the inside. Lovely and warm. Oh, that's wonderful. So our first pose, we're going to do dangling. So remember, we're working with the kidney and the bladder. So we're here along the back of the spine. If you're up against a wall, you can use a wall. Otherwise, come to standing on your mat. And you can have a bolster or a large pillow so that when you fold forward, your eyebrow center can rest on your bolster or your pillow. Take your feet quite wide. Have a soft bend in your knees. And then as you exhale, hinge from the hips and reach down towards the earth. Now have your feet so that they feel comfortable at whatever width they're at. Have a soft bend in your knees. And then when you're hinging forward, allow your arms to feel heavy, your neck and shoulders and head to feel heavy. So you can dangle like so, or you can rest your head on your bolster or large pillow. But that will, once you rest your head, it might not have the dangling sensation in your neck. But if you don't want to have that dangling sensation in your neck, it's a great way to do it. Alternatively, you can always create a little stack so that when you're dangling, you can dangle a little bit more so the top of your head is resting on your stack of pillows or cushions or bolsters. So you can feel that this is working the back of the legs here. This is where the bladder runs, bladder meridian runs. And then you have the kidney running along the inside of the legs. And here you can see we've given lots of space for our kidneys. You can probably feel here where you're folded over, pressure on your bladder. Don't be surprised if it makes you want to go for a quick wee, because you're stimulating those organs associated with the meridians. If it helps, you can always take hold of your opposite elbows. And the more you hang in this pose, ragdoll or dangling, you can feel that your upper body is getting heavier and heavier and being drawn closer towards the earth. So you're elongating your spine here. You're creating more length and space in your spine. So you might find after a while, you can remove a pillow. Perhaps it's just a bit too much. Yeah. We'll have 6 more breaths here. Now to come out of this pose, I'm going to invite you to place your hands on your bolster or pillow, bend into your knees. Keep your head hanging for a moment, coming onto your knees, and then we're going to move directly into child's pose. So slide your pillow away, and then bring your eyebrows center to the earth. Your arms can be at a soft angle at the elbow. Because we were dangling for some moments, the fluid will be rushing towards our brain. So if we were suddenly to straighten up from there, we might feel lightheaded or dizzy. So we come down to the earth and then begin to bring some sense of balance back, equalizing the flow, the direction. Three more breaths here in child's pose. And if you've got your blanket here, this feels very cozy, very warm. Now with a very gentle in-breath, helping hands pressing into the earth, begin to uncurl your spine. Keep your chin tucked until you come all the way up. Then bring your gaze parallel to the horizon so that you're moving slowly here. So you're sitting here in hero's pose. Now we're going to from here move into toe squat. Now remember, if you don't feel comfortable here, you can always place a cushion underneath your sit bones. Maybe a cushion under your knees. Perhaps if the inside of your ankles feel sore, we're not going to be here for long because we're going to move into toe squat. So what I'm going to invite you to do here is to tuck in your toes. Your hands can be on the earth or on a bolster. And then gradually begin to come back to neutral spine so that your weight shifts back above your feet. If that feels good, you can sort of play with the angle here a little bit, whether you want more weight or less weight on your toes. So your toes are tucked in. This is a toe squat. Bring your hand in your Jaludar Nashak, little finger tucked in, thumb on the knuckle. The little finger represents the element of water, Jal, Jaludar, Nashak, reduction of water, lessening the chill in the environment. When it is cold and there's water and moisture in the air, then that takes on a freezing quality or a biting quality. One more breath here in Vajrasana, toe squat pose. And then let's begin to return our hands onto a bolster or the earth and untuck your toes. And now we're going to have the tops of our feet on the earth. If you want to pad the inside of your ankles, you can always roll up the end of your blanket so that the end of your blanket is on the inside of your ankle here, where your foot meets your leg. And then that will give you a little bit of protection just for a moment. Now we're going to now move into an ankle stretch. So you can have your ankles here, inside of your ankles on your rolled up blanket, or perhaps you don't. What we're going to do, place your hands on the earth and lift your knees slightly. So your knees may be a little way up. Another way, if you don't wish to hold your weight, is just to place a cushion under your knees. That will lift your knees a little bit and you'll feel the stretch on the inside of your ankles. Perhaps you place 2 cushions. So this means that you don't have to hold the weight of your leg. You also place your hands on a bolster. So press away into the bolster and that will help you lift up the knees. So the stretch is felt on the inside of your ankles here. Remember, you can use your bolster or pillow underneath your knees. It may feel less intense, but you'll still feel some pressure there. We won't be here for long because this is an unusual way, but you can see how we're directly working on the kidney and the bladder, because as they run up and down the leg, passing down to the foot. 3 more breaths. And then with care, let's lower our knees, lift our feet up. You might want to just circle your, I'm going to place my arms on my bolster and circle your ankles one way and the other way. And then swing your legs to one side, come onto your sit bones. We're going to come into butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together here. And you can see this is a great opportunity again to do a little bit of rubbing on the legs, self-massage, center of the sole of the foot, little toe in particular. Remember, just by rubbing all the other toes, we're stimulating all of our acupressure points for our different meridians. Don't forget to go down the back of the leg here, so I can use my thumb down the back of my leg, along the calf, and the back of my thighs. And when you're ready, lengthen through the crown, and as you exhale, let's fold forward, hinging from the waist here. And immediately you can feel this on the inside of your legs here. So winter is this cold, dark season for inward reflection and rest and tranquility. But unless we feel cozy and warm and safe, it's very hard to be able to reflect because we're too anxious about our safety or our body temperature. If you wish, you can always place a bolster on your feet or some cushions so that you can rest your eyebrow center or your head on your bolster or pillow. Or your head can be hanging down. I'm already beginning to warm up. So all of this vital energy that we have, prana or chi as it's called in either Indian or Chinese philosophy, this vital energy, we are now guiding it around our body to warm our extremities. So when you think about the parts of your body that feel cold on a cold day or a winter's day, it's always the ends of your hands, your fingers, the ends of your feet, your toes. By stimulating these main channels, these whole body channels, the bladder and the kidney meridians that run the length of your body, we're aiding the flow of vital energy so that we can bring warmth to the parts of our body that are furthest away from our heart. One more breath here in Baddha Konasana. Inhale, lift your head just a little. And then let's thread our arms underneath the backs of our legs, coming into Tortoise Pose. So here, your hands are reaching forward. Your forearms are close to the earth. You may have your elbows tucked into the back of your knees. Or you may be a little bit higher. So come as far forward as the body gives you space to do. And then again, relax your head here. Remember, your pillows, your bolsters are your friends for your yin practice. And you can, of course, place your head on your bolster or pillow. The advantage of placing pillows on your feet or your bolster, it also adds another layer of warmth to your feet. Checking how you're feeling here. So in this forward fold, you can probably feel some extension in your lower back, where the kidneys are. The kidneys are said to house our sense of will and determination. And just like water, when water flows, it finds a route, a path. This is how our will and determination help us to find a route and a path. Whatever it is we put our mind to. So in winter, in these times of withdrawing and reflection, this is when we can create ideas. And then think about how we can manifest them, express them, or the direction we can take those in. So this period of retreat and rest and restoration helps us to carve out where we will be going, where we will be flowing. One more breath here in Tortoise Pose. Again, begin to uncurl your spine, slide your hands and arms out from underneath your legs, bringing your spine into neutral and then your gaze parallel to the horizon. Let's take a moment to rub our fingertips, with our hands, creating some warmth, and place over our eyes. Open your eyes to look in towards this dark, cavernous space in the middle of your palms. So let's move into our next pose, and our next pose is going to be saddle pose. We'll do half saddle and then we'll see how we feel in that. So what I'm going to invite you to do is have your pillows or cushions behind your back. So let's create a little bit so it's quite high, so that you have further to go back on. So you can have it either widthways or lengthways. I think I'm going to try it lengthwise, just give me a bit more space. And you can see I'm creating quite a nice stack here because I want to feel quite secure, and then I might take away a layer or two. Remember, this is just for us to start with and see how we feel. So extend your legs long for a moment. Flex your feet. Just coming to Dandasana pose. And then maybe again you might want to rub your legs along the front, the back. So we're going to fold in one leg. So let's fold in the left leg first and see how that feels. How does that feel for you? So you might choose to stay here upright with this leg folded. If that leg folded feels okay for you, then you have the option of reclining a little bit onto your pillows or bolsters and see how that feels. Now, if you feel like you need to have a little cushion, create a little cushion, which is what I thought I might need. You might be close to a, say, the end of your bed or your armchair or sofa. So you could rest your head back on your bed or your sofa. Now, if having your leg folded in like that feels really, really uncomfortable, the option for you will be to have your foot flat on the earth and really tuck that leg in and then recline. So this will be obviously a different sort of sensation. It won't be as intense as having your leg folded underneath you. But what you're doing here by bringing the lower leg against the upper leg, you are still creating a sensation that we would be when we have a leg on the earth. The only thing we might not experience as much is the sense of extension along the front of the leg. But that's okay because we can find another way of doing that. We could rub it. So we could just add some firm pressure with our hand. So this might take a few goes to make yourself comfortable. Because I'm moving around, I'm making myself quite uncomfortable. So let's just recreate my little pillow. There we go. So this is half saddle. Leg tucked under or leg folded in. And while you're lying here, you can bring your hand into your Jaludhar Nashak Mudra. Little finger folds in, the thumb on the knuckle. And now I'm super comfortable here. And if you do have a spare blanket, this is where you could cover yourself with. I'm actually feeling so warm that I don't need to cover myself with a blanket. This practice is creating this warm flow of energy. My fingers are no longer cold. Half saddle pose is one of the most difficult I find personally myself. And we will each have a different experience in it. If you do have issues with your knees or your ankles, then this can feel really uncomfortable, which is why you have the alternative variation of having your foot flat on the earth and your knee bent. And then you can always rub the front of your leg to add a little bit of stimulation to the meridians. Remember, we're not actually working with the front of the leg, we're working with the back of the leg and the inside of the leg today. I really don't want to come out of this, but I'm going to so that we can move on to the other side. So if you have your leg folded underneath you, we need to move with some care. So using your hands to support you, tuck in your chin and come upright. And then with a helping hand, extend that left leg long. Flex your foot. Circle at the ankle one way, then the other way, just so that if you did impede the flow there, you can feel it. If your leg was folded in like so, with your foot flat on the earth, again, extend it and rotate at the ankle. So let's work the other way. So remember, the same option for you is to fold your knee and have your foot flat on the earth, or tuck your foot behind you so the top of your foot is on the earth and that right foot is near the right hip. So I'll just move this leg out of the way so you can see how that right leg is folded in. And then again, just check your little creation hasn't collapsed and recreated. Remember, the weight of your body once you're down and relaxed will keep your creation in place. And then let's lower slowly. Make any adjustments you need. So I've got a little pillow for my head. My heart feels open. My right foot is tucked in near my right hip. My left leg is extended. My hands are in Jaludharnashak. And it might feel less comfortable on one side compared to the other. So just because you had an experience on one side of the body doesn't mean that it's going to be the same experience on the other side of the body. So if on this side it doesn't feel comfortable, remember to come into the alternative. We're working on the same meridian, whether we have our leg tucked under us or whether we have our foot flat on the earth. It just means we have a slightly different depth of extension or sensation. So this is a supported half saddle because we have the bolsters and the pillows under us. For those who have more mobility, then they can always reduce the height of the bolsters and pillows and come closer to the earth with that back. But today, I want to feel quite restored. Having taken a walk outside in the snow, biting winds, chilled to the bones. I wanted to drop into a practice that felt warm and cozy. This practice connected to the element of water, the season of winter, which you alternatively also experience anxiety. This is a great practice for reducing anxiety. So when we did our self-care series, self-care practice, this would have been one of the practices for anxiety management. Let's have 3 more breaths here. I'm really happy here and don't really want to move, but I'm going to. And remember to move with care. So support yourself with your hands. Tuck in your chin, engage your core, and then lift yourself up slowly. And then with helping hands, bring your leg round. You might feel some sensation in your knee as you extend that leg. So rotate your ankle one way, then the other. Oh, it's beautiful. We're going to now move it straight into caterpillar pose. So caterpillar pose is the forward fold with your legs extended. As usual, I'm going to take a restorative approach to our practice. And I'm going to place a bolster, or you can place your large pillows or cushions underneath the backs of your knees. So the backs of your knees are resting on a bolster or pillow. Lengthen, and then as you exhale, we're going to hinge forward towards our feet. Rest your hands wherever they land. And if this bolster or pillow feels too high, you can always reduce the height by using something like your cushions instead. This just feels a bit too high for me today, so I'm going to use my cushions a little less high. Yes, that's what I want. And because I can reach my feet with my arms, because I have quite long arms here, I'm going to massage the sole of my foot, especially the center. Because remember, we've got the kidney meridian here that is at the center of the foot, center of the sole of the foot. Allow your upper body to completely relax. I have a completely relaxed dog here. He too was out in the cold, wind and snow. We want to guide this vital energy, chi or prana, around our body so that it nourishes and hydrates with a sense of warmth today. Almost the sensation you want to feel in your body today is as if when you step into a warm bath. Not a hot bath, but a warm bath. Three more breaths here. And then let's release our hands from wherever they're connected on our body. Unfurl our spine. Slide your hands up towards you, coming up. And then let's remove the cushions from underneath us. I'm going to move into Banana Asana, the crescent moon pose on the mat. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually open my blanket a little bit more so that it's fully covering my mat. Got it the wrong way actually. And then let's come down to lying down. Really, comfort is the name of the game here. So let's shift our hips over to the left. Leave our feet towards the bottom right-hand corner. Let's angle our head towards the top right-hand corner. You can reach overhead, take hold of your left wrist with your right wrist. You can also cross the left ankle over the right ankle. That will give you an extension on the left side. So this is a whole body pose because the kidney and the urinary bladder are whole body meridians. And remember, if it feels uncomfortable, you can always soften your hands and bring your arms a little bit down so they're not overhead where you get pins and needles. Your left ankle is crossed, you can always uncross it, and that will reduce the extension that you're experiencing on the left side. And you can bring the left hand into your Jaladhar Nashak. So your left hand, because it's free, you can tuck in the little finger and bring the thumb to the knuckle. Now from here, we're going to uncross the ankle, release our wrist if we're holding it, and roll onto your right hip. Roll onto your right hip onto the right side, bend into your knees, and then reach with your right foot towards your left hand. So you come into cat's tail. So bend into your knees. You're lying on the right side of your body. You can use your right arm as a pillow underneath your head. Then reach back with your right foot behind you, knee bent, and with your left hand reach towards your right foot or ankle or leg. You can keep that left knee bent. Now that's on the earth. And gradually, you can lower the left shoulder towards the earth, coming into what's called cat's tail. Or you can stay more on the right side. So your left leg is the top leg. You have a bend in the left knee, the left foot is on the earth. Your right leg is on the underside. You're either on your right hip with your right knee bent and right foot reaching back behind you, which you've taken hold of with your left hand. Anywhere along that leg or foot, or just reach behind, reaching for your right foot with your left hand. You can stay completely on the right side, or you can begin to roll your chest so that the left shoulder comes more towards the earth. You may still have a connection between the right hip and the earth here. So there's a twist that you're experiencing in your lower abdomen. We're not here for long. This is cat's tail pose. And you can feel where the twist is. It's working directly on the kidneys. And if you do have a hold of your foot, remember you can press your thumb into the center of the foot, the center of the sole of the foot. Your gaze can be up towards the ceiling with your eyes closed, or you can be on your right side with your head resting on your right bicep or in the right hand. Three more breaths here in cat's tail. And then let's release the right foot if we're holding it with our left hand. Begin to thread that knee back underneath the left leg, so you're now rolled onto the right side completely. Rest there just for a moment. Sleeping baby. Now we're going to move to the other side. So let's roll onto our back. Shift our right hips to the right. Walk your legs to the bottom left-hand corner. Let's shift our head towards the left-hand corner. Reach overhead with your arms. You can take hold of your right wrist or right elbow with your left hand. You can cross your right ankle over the left ankle. So here we are in crescent, reclined crescent moon, or banana asana as it's called. And remember to note whether you get pins and needles in your arms. You can always lower them down alongside you. My right fingers are in Jaludharnashak pose. Little finger tucked in, thumb on the knuckle. Three more breaths here. And then let's release our right wrist. Uncross the right leg. And let's roll on to the left side now. You can use your left arm as a pillow for your head. Have a bend in your knees to this sleeping Krishna baby pose. Take a moment here. And then let's slide the left leg so that we can reach for our left foot with our right hand. Keep a bend in that top right leg. So the left leg is on the underside. Reach back with your foot. Your knee is bent here. You take hold of your foot with your right hand, or you reach towards your foot with your right hand. You can stay here on the left hip, or you can begin to roll your right shoulder down towards the earth so that you come into a deeper twist at the abdomen here. Cat's tail on the left side. I can hear my digestive organs beginning to work also, because this is also working on my digestive system as well as my urinary and kidney system. Remember, you can add a little foot massage here if your right hand is connected with your left foot. 3 more breaths here. It's really getting loud, the sound of my digestive system. Practice is working. Let's release that left foot from the right hand. And let's come onto our side for a moment. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll onto our back to prepare for our Shavasana. And remember, for your Shavasana, you want to be as comfortable as possible, so you can place bolsters or pillows underneath your knees. Extend your legs long, feet apart, arms away from your body, chin slightly tucked, covering yourself with a blanket, maybe covering your eyes with an eye pillow. Here in Shavasana, making sure you stay here for at least 5 minutes. After we end class, so that you can gradually come out of Shavasana. So in this cold, dark season, when the element of water is either flowing freely or perhaps it freezes, turns into frost or sleet or snow or rain, then they might feel a chill in the body. A practice that brings an element of warmth to the flow of water, so that the vital energy flows through the whole length of the body, the kidney and bladder meridians along the front and the back of the body, down the legs. Every cell vibrating with this warm water, this restorative water, switching the feel of this element so it's warming. I invite you to stay here for 5 more minutes in your Shavasana. And then when you are ready to rise up from here, moving slowly, rolling onto the side, and then with helping hands getting up, taking a moment in Sukhasana, this comfortable seat, before closing your practice with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'll close the practice now, here, and let you complete it in your own time at home. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavad.